how to be on the ball like this little red ducky and supersize or even stay in business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with our idiom today, which is on the ball. On the ball, of course, actually originated in Britain with respect to ball games. Of course, on the ball would be having to deal with ball games and sports analogies, because then after developing in Britain in about the 1800s, Americans picked it up with respect to baseball, and they would say that if the pitcher was on the ball, if he could put something on the ball, meaning spin or speed, he had a better chance of helping his team win the game. And on the ball, of course, then came to mean being alert, effective, knowledgeable, skillful, being on top of things. Being on top of your game is another sports analogy that reminds us of being in control of things, right? Or being able to do things, being able to handle things. It actually came from keep your eye on the ball. It's a shorter version of the idiom and the saying, keep your eye on the ball. Because in almost every sport, coaches would tell you, keep your eye on the ball, right? Keep your eye on the ball. Watch what you're doing. Watch where the ball is, because the ball is what you use to score. Now, how do you keep your eye on the ball? How do you be on the ball in terms of being skillful and knowledgeable and on top of your game so that you can grow and build your business, or in these trying times, actually stay in business? There's a couple of things that you can do. Number one, you need to focus on what you do well and what you can do, not on what you cannot do. Right now, there's a lot of brand new things that we cannot or are not legally allowed to do in our businesses. Well, guess what? There's a few things we cannot do, we legally cannot do. We cannot be open if we have a hospitality business, if we have a business like nail salons, or things that are essential to some of us, but they're not gotta have it or you're gonna die. Gotta go to the grocery store because we need to have food. Gotta be able to go to gas stations so that the people that can still work can go to work. But what can you do? So we focus on the things that we can do. Ask yourself the question, how can I serve people? How can I continue to add value to the world in a positive way with the vast amounts of knowledge and skill that I've acquired over the decades creating my business? Ask yourself those questions. How can I continue to help out and serve people? And it's going to be different than it was a couple of weeks ago, but there are definitely ways that each and every one of us can positively continue to move our businesses forward if we ask ourselves those questions. How can we find new ways to help our customers given the constraints that we have now? We've always had constraints on our businesses and on our lives, but how do we take our current set of constraints and apply them to helping and serving people better, helping people to get the things that they need and want, helping them to overcome the challenges and the fears that they're facing right now, just like everybody else is? And how do we take the time to increase our skills and our abilities and our knowledge so that we can continue to serve people on higher and better and different levels? And mostly it's just different levels, right? We have to find ways to do things differently. I've been transitioning myself and other businesses for the last couple of years now from the offline brick and mortar world to the online world. Not exclusively, but to have a combination of both, so that when things like this happen, we have contingencies, we have ways to do things differently. There is so much technology nowadays that makes working remotely possible. Normally, if this had happened even 10 years ago, what kind of a position would we be in as a country than we are now? Because we do have the technology, we do have the ability to do social distancing, to have our kids at home and still have activities and things that they can do. Everybody, for the most part, can access the internet. Not everybody, but everybody that has the internet can access the internet. And there's so many opportunities to learn and grow and develop and find ways to sharpen our saw. And I can't remember who said sharpen your saw. Abraham Lincoln, I believe, was the one that said, and he's credited with the saying of, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 5 hours sharpening my saw, or something, whatever. If he was in something like that. I'm meat axing it, right? But many of us have heard that saying before. So now is a perfect time to not only sharpen our saw, but look for ways, creative ways, different ways, thinking what is possible in terms of different ways than we never even imagined that we can now serve the people that we've been serving all along, right? So if you're a coach or a consultant, you can do almost all of that online. I've been doing online coaching and consulting for a couple of years now. I've been kind of socially distanced and practicing that for a couple of years. And so I'm not really missing a beat. Same for a lot of people that have an online business. This isn't the time to be scared and stop. This is the time to pick up the duck, get your ducks in a row, and move forward in helping other people and continuing to keep the economy cranking and growing. It's going to fall on us business owners to build the economy back, right? So whatever happens, it's going to be businesses and business owners that rebuild our nation and rebuild our economy and get us back to where we were before and even better. But that means getting the skills, finding creative new ways to serve people, and even though we're all going to be afraid sometimes, it means still moving forward and doing the things that we know how to do, doing the things that we can do, and serving people to the best of our ability. That is what will help us survive this and any other challenge that ever comes our way. And you know, it's highlighted in these trying times, but guess what? These are the things that we've always needed to do in order to grow and build and supersize our businesses. You know, be unique, be special, do the best you can, serve people, give value to people, because business is an exchange of value, and to continue to improve and grow and get better at what you do and more creative at how you can serve and help people to make the world a better place. That's it. Go out, have an awesome day. Be on the ball, get on the ball if you're not on the ball already, and I will be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. Where does it come from? What does it mean? And how can you use it to apply to your business and your life? Take care.